Edward Christopher Razzano is a native of Cape Town, where he was educated in mechanical engineering and economics after completing schooling in the nearby town of Stellenbosch. He worked for 2 decades in the financial services industry and in his retirement coaches squash. His interests include macroeconomics as well as cosmology, and he now lives with his partner in Eastern Cape of South Africa. We have the chance to interview the author today, who's right now connected with us. Hi, Edward. Welcome, and thank you for accepting our invitation.
Ciao, Ginevra. Thank you.
So let's talk about your book, The Red Fawn. What is it about?
The Red Fawn is about a story I've had in my mind for 3 decades. It's the middle story, and it is the confluence of the European experience of the Cold War and the Global South experience of the Cold War. What I mean by that is the Cold War in Europe, particularly in the generations that preceded you, was a stalemate between the United States and the Soviet Union, which thankfully didn't come to a hot war. Whereas in the Global South, there were various liberation struggles which were very hot. The female characters, the title characters in the Red Fawn, are successive Italian generation. The male characters are a product of African wars of liberation. I would say the central theme of the book, and it's a thought I've had since writing it, is, does Colleen McCarran become her mother? In other words, her mother escaped events in Europe with hope for a better life for herself and her daughter, whereas her daughter made her own decisions. The male characters are all products of Southern African wars of liberation, as I said. And I likened that experience to white light striking a prism. Some men came out of these wars destroyed and they committed suicide. Some men put it behind them. Some men visited atrocities on other people. Some men made careers out of the skill sets they learned in the military. I think that encapsulates the 2 primary storylines in my book. I don't know if that's too much information.
It's not. We're very curious to know what the book is about without too many spoilers, of course. One question, who's the target public for your book? I mean, who is the perfect reader? Is it a book for anyone, or did you have in mind a specific target?
I would say the target is liberated women, I'm proud to say. I would regard it as a feminist book, as the women in the book are the characters who take action. I would say it's a feminist book. I would say also that it's perhaps a book for a younger generation, and maybe the first 2 chapters are telling Europeans, particularly your preceding generations to yours, information that they know.
Thank you, Edward. Thank you for introducing your book. Now we will leave it to the reading of your public. And we want also to wish you best luck with your literary work.
Thank you very much for your work and for your introduction today.
The paths of two women intersect first at the scene of a tragedy and then again a decade later. Consequently, Colleen discovers clues to the truth about her mother's death, while Michelle's already fragile existence is plunged into further chaos. The Red Fawn by Edward Razzano is now available in bookstores and digital platforms. It's a publication by Eurobooks.